So let's review synthetic division. So synthetic division is a very special type of polynomial division. So remember, you can only use this to divide a polynomial by a linear divisor. Ooh, my handwriting today is not great. Divisor of the form, right, x plus or minus some sort of number, right? So you can't use it to divide by a quadratic, so you can't divide by like x squared plus 3x plus 4. And you can't have a number next to the x, so the coefficient of the x has to be a 1. So for our example today, we are going to divide 4x cubed minus 3x minus 1, and we're going to divide that by x minus 1. So our divisor here is x minus 1, which is linear, right? We don't have any higher powers of x other than the linear term, and our coefficient of x is 1, so we're good to go. So when we are setting up our synthetic division chart, most people will put the divisor number in the box. So we'll put the opposite of this number in the box. So this is going to become a positive 1. And then it's kind of like an upside down division house. And then I like to put in the columns for each of my variables. So synthetic division allows us to take the variables out of the problem, not worry about them, and just follow an algorithm with the numbers to find the final answer. So you look at what your highest exponent is in the dividend, and that's x cubed. And then you have to count down from there. So I'm going to count down and put powers into my chart, even if they're not in the problem. So I have x squared, x, and then my constant or just my number term. So all of your powers of x have to be represented in your synthetic division table, even if they're not in the original problem. And if you forget that, your answer is going to be wrong because you're going to be missing a column. So in my problem, we have a 4x cubed, we have negative 3x's, and negative 1 is our constant. But we don't have any x squared, so I'm going to put a 0 in. And then the algorithm for synthetic division is you always drop down the top number. So that's going to become a 4 underneath. And then you multiply by the divisor number and put that up next to underneath the next column. So I'm going to multiply that by 4. And that's, I'm going to do 4 times 1. The 1 is what's in the divisor, and I'm going to get 4. And then you're always adding down. So 0 plus 4 is going to give me another 4. And then I'm going to repeat that. So then I'm going to do 1 times 4. And that's going to give me another 4. I'll add down. And then negative 3 plus 4 gives me positive 1. I'm still going to keep multiplying by my divisor number, so the positive 1 that's in my box. And then 1 times 1 is 1. And then this works out really nicely in the fact that when I add, I'm going to get a remainder of 0. So the last number that goes in our table is always the remainder value. That's what color I had. So this is our remainder. And then to find our final answer, we're going to take all of these numbers that we had. So we had 4, 4, and 1. So everything to the left of that dividing bar. And then we're just going to drop the powers down. So I started with x cubed, which means now I'm going to have x squared. That's a positive 4, so I'll put a plus sign there. And then I'm just going to count down. So I have x squared, x, and then no x's. And that would be my final answer. If I had a remainder, I would put that in a fraction. So I would do plus, right? So as a helpful hint, right? Or plus your remainder value over our divisor, right? Where your divisor is, of course, this term here. And your dividend is what's being divided. That's the 4x